are live, and welcome back to LAK Sports. And joining me is the IBF WBO World Champion, the Destroyer, Desley Robinson. So, Desley, thank you so much for taking the time, and it's a pleasure to have the champ in the house here. And just welcome.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I'm stoked to be on. It's cool. Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no worries at all. No, I appreciate it. Sometimes athletes or boxers like yourself get asked how's training, how are things inside the ring, how is fight camp, but sometimes we don't get to be asked how we are doing as a person. So I gotta ask, how's Desley the woman? How's the human being? How's she doing?
Good. I'm happy. And it's good to be happy, um, yeah, I think we've just been many, many years of working hard and, adversity and lots of battles and whatnot. And I feel like I'm in a really good place now in my life where, yeah, I'm just genuinely really happy. So I don't really have any stresses and, yeah, we're just cruising along and doing our thing. So, yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's excellent. Now, I got to see you made some reactions to the Clarissa Shields fight last night. What do you think of her performance? And did you get a chance to watch the whole fight?
Yeah, yeah. So it was good. I was doing the folding my clothes as I was watching the fight. So for us, it was on through the day. So from about 11 o'clock onwards. So obviously the time zone and whatnot. But
Right.
yeah, Clarissa did really well, and Franchon, she came forward, and she's game doing that with Clarissa because Clarissa's quite strong and she's smart. But I think it was well played on their behalf to get in and unsettle her and not let Clarissa get set. So I feel like if you let Clarissa, set, then obviously she controls it. So and yeah, like my good mate Shay, she fought as well to defend her WBC world title against Perkins. So yeah, it was quite nerve wracking to watch and yeah, she did really well. So
Yeah,
keen for my turn. So
awesome, awesome. And I heard that you did some guest speaking a few days back. Was that your first time? And what's your biggest takeaway when you do when you do things like that?
yeah, so usually I do have a lot of involvement with women, obviously mums, and I've just also signed on with Uncle Bob, so that's a kids foundation for the hospital, so with the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. So just becoming an ambassador for that. So yeah, I've sort of helping out a few organisations, and obviously it all stems down to yeah, we're fighters and everyone are fighters outside of the ring. And as a professional fighter, I understand the battles out of the ring more so than, than the ones in the ring. So for me, in the ring is easy. On the outside, it's not easy. Everyone's got their challenges and whatnot. So
Mhm.
it's good to sort of connect to women, mums as well, because I'm obviously a single mother of three, and I've done it from day one with the kids on my own, as well as being, a full-time concreter, full-time personal trainer, having two babies in the same year with absolutely no help. And yeah, so I can connect with obviously, the kid side of it, the mum side of it, and the fighter side of it. So I think too, like a big thing is I'll never, I always like to stay humble as well because, we're all the same and it doesn't matter, what titles you have, whether you could be, the world, world champ, you could be not the world champ, and I still sort of see everyone as equal and, respect everybody as who they are. So yeah, it's good. It's good to get out and have a chat, and I like to talk. So like to have a chat here and there. So but yeah, I met some really great people on the weekend at the Fight Fierce. And yeah, there was a lot of women there that, I'd spoken to, and yeah, it's good. It's good motivating. And a lot of the ladies they were like, oh, wow, we didn't think that, a unified world champ would even take the time out of their day to be here with us. And I was like, what? Of course I would. Like, I would never not help others or yeah, the event was great. So it was good. I hope I had some really good feedback, and yeah, I hope to see them all at the next one. So
Excellent, excellent. And as I'm just getting to know you here a little bit, obviously, boxing is your life. But do you have any other interests outside boxing? Is there any other sports you enjoy watching?
yeah, like my son used to play rugby. He's having a year off rugby, but we obviously watch that. I love the fighting. So I've been going to a fair few of like the 1 round wars, the contender, which is, like, very quick, short rounds. Some have just middle, like the small gloves. So I watch a lot of that. I attend a lot of those events. And I feel like the bare knuckle scene's becoming quite popular at the
Yeah.
moment. So, yeah, I'm enjoying that as well, because I get to sit on the other side as well, and I can have a break from being, not that I want to not ever be in the ring, but it's good to have the break and just sit on the outside and socialize a little bit, and talk to the other fighters and get to know them and get to know their battles. And yeah, it's fun, and I love a good scrap.
Well, and I think it's really cool that we don't just have like the boxing, obviously, that's been for around for such a long time, but not just MMA as well. But now we're getting the bare knuckle boxing, we're getting a lot of that karate combat. There's a lot of variety now that people can kind of choose from and pinpoint different martial arts. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. I love it.
So anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about your journey from the fitness boxing to world champion. I think that's amazing. Can you walk us through what sparked that transition?
As in into professional or into boxing
Yeah,
itself?
more as a professional. Like you started out and then you got into
Yeah.
the pro. Yeah.
So where we I grew up in a very small town
Hmm.
called Moranbah, joined a boxing club called the Moranbah Mongrels. And yeah, from there I'd sort of travelled all far North Queensland, fighting in sort of small towns. And there's only so far you can sort of go when you are quite rural. And my initial goal was the Olympics. I, lived and breathed it. I just wanted to be in the Olympics, whether it was athletics, which I used to do. I used to be a very good athlete, and I also played rugby for a long time too. So, I done the athletics and thought, some of the boys at school were doing boxing. And it was very sort of, back then, girls don't box. And it was all
Hmm.
about the boys. And I'd said to a few people, said, oh, look, I want to box. And they're like, you can't box. And naturally, me being me was like, I'm going to box and I'll show you. I'll show you how I can box. So it's sort of one thing led to another. And I ended up moving to Brisbane. And from there, I'd sort of just struggled getting fights, purely because there's not very many women in town. And by that stage, I'd had about 50 odd fights and I'd only lost about two. So I had a really good sort of record, good reputation. It was hard to get fights. I moved obviously to Brisbane with my son at the time, and yeah, we started from nothing. I had nowhere to live. I had no money. I walked away from a very crappy relationship, and pretty much just packed up and left. And yeah, I wanted bigger and better things because I knew that I had more to offer. I knew that whatever was thrown at me, boxing wise or life wise, I could really do really well. So, yeah, I sort of had that can do attitude, which helped. And yeah, we joined the boxing club called the Boxing Shop. I joined that and began working. I got a house, and then I had a couple of amateur fights, and then I sort of wanted to go pro. I sort of, was meeting a few people, and I was working in a gym at the time, and the boxing scene was massive for men. It really wasn't that big for women at that time. So I'm talking about like 8 years ago. So it was kind of still on that, oh, girls can't do it type of thing. And yeah, so was just asking around, and a friend of mine said there's this coach called Chris McCullen. You should try. We'll contact him and see if he'll take you on. And Chris's team is Chris's boxing club is called Logan Boxing Team. So it's a family run, boxing club. It's not they don't do classes or anything. So everyone that goes there, we're all sort of like family. And yeah, I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to be taken under his wing. And we've just come from, leaps and bounds. And, 8 years later, not only has my boxing flourished, it's my life as well. Like, I've changed as a person, and my life has changed, for
Hmm.
myself and for my kids. So yeah, I'm forever grateful for Chris. He's had a great effect on everybody who's boxed there, in and out of the ring. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without him, and I wouldn't have my titles. And obviously people jump on board as well. And yeah, I've got, some really great sponsors on board they've seen the person that I am and where I've come from and what I've done despite adversity and, where I've started from. And yeah, it's good to sort of have a team behind you that backs you. And the biggest thing is that, like, people that believe in you too, like, anyone can say, oh yeah, you can do it, just, talk it up. But they genuinely have, my best interest at their heart. So yeah, I'm forever thankful for that. But yeah, coming from a small town, I had to move to the biggest smoke to get the rounds, to get the more opportunities, to be able to open my
Hmm.
whole world of boxing. So yeah, that's the short version.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's deep dive in your career.
Mhm.
You've won previous titles, obviously before the IBF and the WO, WBO, excuse me. However, your first crack at the IBF obviously didn't go your way against Lanny Daniels. What was the
No.
lessons that you took from that helped you become the champion later?
Yeah, look, I went into that fight in New Zealand. I honestly thought I was going to win. I had so much belief and so much. I was confident, but not cocky. I'm still very humble. Like, I'm quietly confident. I know my ability and I know what I can do.
Hmm.
However, I think the main thing that was against me is that I'd had, at that period of my life, I was concreting full time. I was doing a man's job, full time concreting, which I love it. Like, and I'm forever grateful to be a woman and have that opportunity to
Yeah.
work in a man's world. So I had that. I had two babies at the time. They were both in nappies, both still being fed. And yeah, I was running myself to the ground, mentally, physically. I was like, I'd still gave 100% in training, but it was hard. And at that time, I wasn't a full time sponsored athlete, so I had to bust my butt for that. And we went away. I took the kids with me, and I still thought that I'm going to win and I'm going to be the world champ. Like, and I think too, like, if you don't think that, then there's no point getting in there. You kind of need to. You've got to believe in yourself. But I mean, the fight was good. It was a very close fight, and I believe now that if I was where I'm at now, I would 100% win and I would have won. But yeah, I had sponsors jump on board after that and say, look, Des, we can see that you are running yourself into the ground. Let's try and get you full-time sponsorship. And I think the main thing that I learned from that fight is that, like, it broke my heart losing. Like, it was just, you fall into a depression after when you lose. And as a fighter, like, only fighters understand this. It's just the worst feeling. And like they say, boxing, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. And I sort of went back right down to, like, am I good enough? Am I wasting my kids' time? My parents have flown over. My
Hmm.
sister has flown over. I look like an idiot. I've lost. And I kind of spiraled into this, yeah, like I said, like this big depression of beating myself up. And I am my own worst critic. And as a fighter, you are your own worst critic. And you can either use it as a positive or, yeah, you could really go into a dark place, which a lot of fighters do. But I'm, lucky enough to have my coach who has been in my position, and he helped me sort of get out of that little hole. And we just went back to the drawing board. And I didn't watch my fight. I didn't watch my fight. I didn't look at any replays. And I felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed that I went over there thinking, yep, I've got this. And, I'm going into enemy territory, and I've always been the underdog. I've always had to prove and had to show and really, really work hard to show that I belong here. So that was a bit, sort of embarrassing to come back and go, man, I didn't come home with a belt. Like, but now looking back on it, I'm really glad that that happened. Because it made me go back to the drawing board. I've got now sponsors that have jumped on board, and there's no other woman out there that has done what I've done. Working as a concreter, full-time personal trainer, 3 kids, no help, and I had a lot of outside noise as well. Like I had family court. I had to fight to keep my kid. Not that I did anything wrong, but obviously when people separate, it does get a bit nasty. So there was a lot of that. But yeah, I think that was my turning point in my career that just showed that, yeah, we can get some sponsors on board. And New Style Development, I've known him from back home, from where I grew up in Moranbah, and he's like, look, I've seen you grow up, and he's in a position to help, and we've just come in leaps and bounds. And now I don't have to. I don't have to work. Like, I'm a fully sponsored athlete. I'm comfortable in my life, and the pressure of that work has been really taken off, and I can focus on fighting and mastering everything. And each fight, Chris and I work on something new, and like, I've been boxing for 22 years and I'm still learning something new every time we train. So yeah, there's a lot learning to it. And I think this is what a lot of women resonate with me, is that there's so much outside of the ring. Like, when I get in the ring, I'm like, oh, the hard work's done, the fighting's done. This fight that I'm in now, yes, it's my hardest fight of my career, and I can lose absolutely everything. But to me, it's the easiest. Like, it's like a holiday when I get in the ring. I love it. It's, you're just in that little square, and no one can stop you then.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's quite a story. I love it. And then
Mm.
obviously, a few fights later, you capture the IBF, and then obviously with the unifying division in April 2025 by adding the WBO belt. Sorry, how did that accomplishment compare emotionally, professionally to winning your first world title?
I'll get you there. So winning the first one was good. It was really good to get that win, because I'd previously fought Kay Scott, and I'd got, well, the fight was very, very close. And it sort of, the whole boxing community sort of went crazy over it. They thought I'd won. I thought I won. I took my shoe off to do a
Yeah.
shoey and everything, and I didn't win. So from there was a little bit of rivalry in Australian boxing. And then it's sort of, I'd say, kind of like, you're either Team Des or you're Team K. And I was like, you know what? There's not a chance in hell she's winning. I'm going to get her back. And 4 weeks out before the IBF world title, I fractured my foot. Um, so it was really badly fractured, and I didn't tell a soul. And I thought, like, I had interviews, and I was meant to be in a cast and whatnot. And I had to wear, normal dress shoes, and my foot was killing me, and I was not letting that. I kept the poker face on, and I don't know how we did it, but we hid the foot. I couldn't run. I couldn't spar. So I did a full camp of, no, it wasn't a camp. So I went in there, and we just strapped my foot up, and I got the win. I got the unanimous win. And from there, I just thought, you know what, throw anything at me, and I'll win. So that was good. And it was good to get that sort of bit of redemption there and walk away with the world title. And then we're told, the reporters actually came up and goes, what's wrong with Desley's foot? And they're like, well, it's actually really badly fractured. And they just went, what the hell? What is this woman doing? So it was pretty cool to do that. And then, getting the unified belts, then we fought Chloe Chaos. After all these years of boxing, she was my first southpaw to fight. And that was a really good fight. It wasn't obviously it was a great fight. But when you fight a southpaw, you've got to be quite careful. And I think towards the end, I was like, oh, what am I doing? Just unleash, like, let your hands go on this woman. And it was the last round. So I felt like if we had a rematch now, I feel like the fight would be really, really jam packed and exciting. It'd be toe to toe because I know what I'm in for, and I've done work with southpaws now, and yeah, so getting that was great. Like I was always wanted to be a world champ. Did I think that I was going to be a unified world champ and get that opportunity? Not at all. Like with the struggles and how hard I've had to work, I didn't actually ever think I would be where I am today. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's been really, really good. And now I want those other two belts, and I will be coming to get those other two belts. So Kay's got the other ones. So she had called me out not long ago saying that she's got unfinished business with me, but bring it on. I'll fight you any day of the week. Two broken feet, two broken hands. I'll still take them belts off her. So I'm just waiting for her. And then, yeah, I can be undisputed. So it'd be cool.
Well, and I mean, you have the option of defending your existing titles as well. So, what's more important to you, to defend the titles that you have, or is it to chase the legacy that you could go after?
Obviously, to defend them is quite important because
Right.
they're mine and I'm not going to let anyone take them off me. Um, so yeah, I think obviously the two extra ones it would be great, and I know that I can get the other two. If we fought today, I would walk away with the other two. So I'm happy with the two that I have now, but there's two more. So I think as a fighter and an athlete, you are constantly striving for more and you want more. And yeah, now we're after those. But obviously, I'm signed with MVP, and which is amazing for women's boxing.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think whatever they've got in store for to get these other two, I know there's another girl, Tam, to bet. They could possibly, and the end result might be myself and Tam fighting for the undisputed titles. So yeah, and she's a southpaw, so that will be a really interesting fight. But yeah, I don't really care who I fight. I just what's mine.
For sure. If you were to speak as someone who's never really watched boxing before, doesn't understand strategy when it comes to fighting an opponent, if you were when winning via decision or finish, how do you approach fights differently when having to go for the finish and winning, and when to fight conservative and to win by the points?
Yeah, I think obviously I fight 10 rounds now, and I can't remember the last time I haven't fought 10 rounds. So the first sort of couple of rounds, you do feel each other out. And it's hard. So, like my last fight, I didn't expect to have such a short fight. And it just sort of happened. We'd worked on sitting on our punches and setting up and getting in and getting her back and then letting the power go, which obviously results in a
Hmm.
knockout. But you can never really prepare because you could look at your opponent, you can study them, and they're doing the same with you. And when you get in the ring, you just have to do play it by ear. So yeah, and I think too, your cornermen, obviously they're another set of eyes. They help you. But yeah, you can't really prepare, to be honest. You've just got to think on your feet there and then.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you like when if you look at the young ladies watching you right now, what do you want the young girls watching you today to take away from your story, both inside and outside the ring?
I think the biggest thing is that I'd want women to know that you can do it, despite someone says you can't. You can do, it sounds very cliche, you can. And I say it all the time, but you absolutely can do anything you set your mind to. And whatever's thrown at you. And I think too, we're in a world now where it's more acceptable for women to do things. So it is a lot easier for women now to break out in a man dominated sport. Even the rugby as well. The rugby's, a lot better for women too. So Yeah, I think for women, I want them to be, you know, remain confident and back yourself. And it's not absolutely not going to be easy. Like it is not easy, but you can do it.
Well, and I mean, we just saw yesterday, at least for me yesterday, that we got a main and co-main event, both hosted by four awesome ladies. So I think that's great. I think it's really great for the boxing world, and I think we're gonna see more of it. I think it's just, I think it's amazing what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly too. Like, and I think my hats, take our hat off to the MVP as well.
Um, what's one thing about being world champ that people are surprised to hear?
That they're surprised to hear. I think the big thing is that the main thing is they're like, how did you're a mum of three on your own and you're a world champ as well. Some people struggle just to make it to the gym, let alone be the world champ. So I feel like if they don't know me, they're, oh, what, you've got kids and you've got three? Oh,
Yeah.
so that's the main thing, yeah, is that they sort of don't know. Because I like, and all athletes, like I look at other athletes and go, damn, they make it look really easy. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
That's awesome. I just like to conclude this and just have a little bit of fun here. So I gotta ask, what's your go-to cheat meal?
Oh, Dubai chocolate, my very, very favorite.
It's very good. It's
um,
too addicting.
yeah, yeah, with the pistachio
Hmm.
crunchy stuff in it as well. Yeah, so that'd be my cheat meal, and it's really nice too. Lady Amy, who owns Unveiling Poppy in town here, she said if you come back with your belts, I'll give you a block of chocolate. And yeah, sure enough, I got home and I had my belts, but I was more excited about getting the chocolate too. So everyone sort of knows it's my little weakness.
what's one thing you would say you're terrible at outside the ring?
Replying to people, like it's so it's so bad. Answering phone calls, messages, and replying to people. Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, my life's a little bit busy, and when I get home, I'm like, oh, I'll chill for five. And then yeah, so.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But what's your secret talent outside the ring?
Oh, secret talent. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I can sew. I have my friend and I, Angela, have got our own little. We redo like denim. So we get like old denim jackets, and we, rip them and sew things on them and paint quotes on them. So we've just got, yeah, a little I don't know what you call it, refurbished denim, and it's called yeah, Dolly Denim. So we're yeah, working on our range of clothing at the moment, and then we'll, yeah, release them for sale. So yeah, not many people knew I could sew.
Would you go for a coffee or energy drinks?
And I do both at the same time.
Whatever gets you
um,
pumped up for training.
yeah, nah, I really like coffee. I like I think it's like, I don't know if I'm getting old. Like I go to bed at night, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have a coffee in the morning. So definitely coffee.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Uh, spar any celebrity, who would it be?
To spar,
Yes, any celebrity or any athlete.
I would say Ronda Rousey, or Gina. So growing up, I idolized them, and I wanted to be them. So it'd be great to, and I see they're fighting on MVP as well. So
Hmm.
I hope to, yeah, I'm sure I'll meet them obviously one day, but it'd be great to share the ring with them because they're obviously the pioneers of women's boxing. And for myself growing up, they're someone I looked up to be. So now we're both signed athletes. So yeah,
What hurts more, a body shot or stepping on the Lego or the kids' toys?
kids' choice, 100%.
And fight camp hunger or a toddler tantrum?
Oh, I get both of them. So I have to cut weight and deal with toddler tantrums. Um, I would do fight camp hunger because I can control that. I've got control over that, but a toddler, no, no.
Fair enough, fair enough. And you talked about the ladies here. So Ronda Rousey or Gina Carano in this upcoming fight.
I'm gonna back Ronda.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. This was a pleasure to do this. I apologize that we kind of everything broke up and we had to restart, but we got it back and we got to
That's all
finish
right.
it. So I do appreciate you taking the time, Desley, for taking the time out of your day to do this. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to talk with a world champion. Just good luck with your future endeavors, and I love to chat with you again when you get that fight, Buck. Hopefully, you get
Yes.
the rematch. Let's see, let's
Yeah.
go, and yeah, just
Yeah.
good luck with everything.
Thank you so much, and thank you for giving us women and myself the opportunity to speak on these platforms because without you guys, people don't really know who we are or what we stand for, or they sort of just look from the outside. And social media can be, you can take it any way you like. So yeah, thank you for having me on. And my next fight is in the works. Um, you know, obviously, yeah, when it's all official, and I can announce it, and then yeah, hopefully we'll chat after. And yeah, I come back with my two belts.
And any shouts to end this off? The floor is yours.
I just wanted to give a huge shout out to obviously all the people that support me in and out of the ring. It's definitely a team effort, and yeah, definitely obviously all my sponsors too. So we've got a few. So New Style Developments, Vision Homes, Big Boss Concreting, Powerhouse Gym, Ultimate DC, Six Dark Creative, Phoenix Remedial Massage, Brisbane Town Planning. Who else have I forgot? I think that's it. But yeah, so, and obviously, yeah, shout out to yourself for giving us opportunity to, speak on platforms like this because, not everyone gets to know us on a deeper level. They sort of just see us from a distance and on social media. So thank you to yourself and, yeah, obviously friends and family and, my coach, Chris McCullen and everyone from Logan Boxing Team. But yeah, and obviously, my first ever boxing club, Moranbah Mongrels. Yeah, team effort, and I'm forever grateful for everyone's support, and hopefully I'll keep doing you proud. Thank you.